Welcome back, everybody, to the Nosebleeds podcast. I am Chris Witt, and with me, as always, is Mr. Adam Schmidt. Adam, how are you today, sir?
Outstanding. How about yourself?
Absolutely phenomenal.
Good.
That's not
Good.
true. That's not true. A little stressed out, but
Are
I
you?
keep a happy face on.
You always do keep a happy face on.
Got
I
to.
don't know how you do it. Is it work stress or
No, baseball stress, man. We talked
baseball?
last week. We talked last week about stuff going on, and it's just been a today was the day. Today was a tough day. I had to make a couple phone calls to some people that I love and are really good friends of mine, and one of them took it really well. The other one, I is to be determined.
Oh,
To
that
be
sounds like
determined.
you're saying it in a nice way.
No, I think it really is to be determined.
Oh,
Yeah, it was short and quick, and then I got a text a few hours later, and one of those things where you just kind of got to let some time heals all wounds, hopefully.
yeah, that's right.
Yeah.
Okay, so let's jump back to that in a minute because I finally got to get to one of your guys' games.
Hmm.
And I appreciated it because you had us talk with your team before the game after you saw me come in and you said, "Listen, my cousin's here. We need to put some runs up."
Yes.
And
Don't
you
my
guys
exact words were don't embarrass me.
don't embarrass me. Yeah, yeah, I heard you say that to him, and and they
It
you should
was a
say
little
that.
I'll tell you this. It was a little embarrassing. We gave up 4 runs, and
Yes.
that was uncalled for.
Yeah, that was I was like, does this guy even know what he's doing as a coach? Is he putting the right guys out there? Does he have anybody that can pitch? So I was I was questioning you a lot. Um, Fortunately, you gave up 4 runs and you scored 27.
Yeah.
So
It was a good day.
yeah,
It was a
I
good.
mean, it seemed like every kid had like at least 3 hits. It
Yeah.
was just the train kept moving, man. It
And it
was just
wasn't like
like
they were errors and dinks and dunks. We we
no.
we raked that game.
Legit line
Raked.
drives. You're I didn't know who he was, but you told me last week that you have like one of the top players probably in the city. And
Hmm.
I'm assuming it's the kid that hit the fence twice and hit it over the fence once.
Yeah, and it's not a normal fence. Like we don't our fences we play at like center field's like 250 and the corners are like 225, 230.
Hmm.
We played on a he hit the 270 mark twice and then hit it cleared the 295.
That's so great.
Yeah.
I mean, that
12
kid
U
hit the crap out of the
12U
ball.
baseball. 12U baseball. Yeah.
That's so good.
Yeah.
Yeah. He was good, but I mean, it was everybody hit the heck out of the ball. So that was really fun to watch. As it got later in the game, and by the way, was it like a 2 hour game and you guys played 3 innings?
Yeah. It was an hour and
And
45 minutes.
hour
Yeah.
45, that's right, because that's
Yeah.
the limit, right?
Yeah.
And and you guys got three, and it seemed like you even let they got out in the third inning to end the game, and you guys let a few more kids bat. Is that correct?
No, that is not correct.
Oh. It seemed like they had 5 outs or something like that in that
Uh,
last
well,
inning.
we had an error, so I mean, it might have felt that way because we probably gave them 5 outs. Oh no, that last inning. No, Parker pitched the last inning.
Yes.
Yeah, no, no,
It seemed
no,
like you guys had 3 outs and like two or three more kids hit or something.
no. We did not do the. So we have in the past had a game where we were the visiting team. I'm sorry. No, yeah, we were the visiting team, and the run rule was 15 after three, and it was the second inning, and we were up by like 18 or 19. And they said, "Do you want to flip flop home?" Which means they become the home team now, and we give up an at bat, stay in the field, and just get 6 outs, and then we
Mm,
go shake hands instead of
I
having.
like that.
Yeah, yeah, it's instead of us getting to hit one more time because we're the visiting team, it's like, okay, we're just gonna flip flop here real quick. Then we become the home team. They become the visiting team, so they get out at the bottom of the second, and then they hit for the top of the third, and we are the home team, so we don't get to hit again because it would just get embarrassing. So we have done that before, but that is not what happened. Only
Okay.
three outs in the end.
That was okay. That played out in my head. Maybe I dreamed about that after or something. But anyway, you guys were so good in that game. And 27-4. Oh yeah, that's what I was gonna say. Toward the end of that game, I'm standing there with your wife. We went over and stood in the shade because it was I don't know, like 274 degrees out, I think. I
Yes,
I was there for like 30 seconds standing there with your father-in-law talking to him and pouring,
yes.
pouring sweat, just
My
standing completely still.
my sweat towel was wet, completely wet before the game started.
Yeah. So anyway, but that was cool. And you know what I loved being at that game? Your all of the families of your team, it's like one family. Like everybody was talking, messing around with each other, chatting up, like
Yeah,
everybody was. And
we've been
that
together
was
for
cool.
3 years.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. And you could tell everybody was real cool. And I saw I saw your boy, our old teammate from basketball. Saw him
Well,
and
we
talked to
man.
him.
Oh yeah.
We saw we there and
I probably shouldn't have yelled your name real loud to start because that probably gathered way too much attention for him to come running over to you.
uh yeah, we saw each other right after that. But anyway, that was a cool thing. I really like that. And that's probably a weird thing to bring up because you oh, first of all, before we get there, how did you guys do the rest of that tournament? Because that was the first game in the tournament.
So we played the next day. That was 4th of July.
Yep.
We played that was on Friday. We played on one game on Saturday. We lost 11-6.
Oh.
Tough loss, tough loss. A team that for some reason we just can't beat. I don't know. I mean, we beat them, but they give us a better game than they should. Put it that way.
Oh. Uh-huh.
And then we got up the next morning, Sunday morning, played at what did we play at? Noon. And we run. Did we run rule that team? I think we did. Had a nice win there, and then came back and lost to a team 3-2 that I have never lost to in my entire career. That's how we ended our season.
Oh,
Never, never lost to them.
man.
Yeah. So that was a bummer, but it happens. It
Yeah.
happens.
Good
Uh,
game, it sounds like.
it was a good game. We gave up a dink hit, like a swinging bunt, and then one kid hit a missile, and and then we had a walk. They scored all three runs in the same inning. It was, and we had bases loaded twice, couldn't score, and we had second and third twice and couldn't score. So we put
Mm,
more pressure on them. We had more hits. We had more everything. We just could not could not close it out.
man.
Oh, then we're down by one, and I got my big hitters on first, just hits a single, and my next big hitter, who just before that one hopped the wall at that 270 mark, um, and he was one of the ones that got stranded at third by himself for the rest of the inning. So anyway, he's up to bat. There's one out. I steal. He swings and misses, and they call catcher or they call batter's interference, and they call him out. Runner and the throw went into center field. Michael was on third. He was the tying run. They send him all the way back to first. Next guy gets out. Game's over. Went back, watched the video. Not like it wasn't even close. My hitter was in the box, never came across. The catcher never had to change his throw at all. And yeah, yeah, the catcher looks up and points over at him, and you can hear the dugout yelling. And it was a begging call, and they got an old man to make a call. They pulled a me. I get 2 calls a game usually on safe route, just by yelling it a little early, and they pulled a me. They got one. Yeah, it is what it is. It is what it is.
Okay. All right.
A little disappointed still. Still hurts.
Yeah. Sure. Man, what a way to end the season.
Yeah,
That's
yeah.
tough.
It was very tough, but it is what it is. It is what it
Okay.
is.
So, but you guys had a good year. You,
Yeah,
you, I,
we did.
I remember you guys starting out a little bit slow and you're talking about like people are talking to you like what's going on here and then and you kept your cool and I think you even talked about like getting a little bit more like okay, it's not going to be Mr. Nice Guy anymore. I got to start getting on kids and stuff. Is that what you did and is that what worked?
Eh,
Um
I think we just got into a little bit of a groove. Just got into a groove.
yeah,
Middle of the season, we started when we got into the big stretch of our season and played really well. Just played good baseball for most of the year. It was good.
good.
I didn't do too. I mean, I gradually have gotten harder on the boys as they've gotten older, but
Yeah.
nothing crazy.
Okay. Good. Okay. So good season. And then for some reason you guys have tryouts for the next year before the season's over. Um
I not usually doesn't happen.
all
Usually
right.
doesn't happen. We were supposed to be done the weekend before, but I helped, um, and I helped put a tournament together the weekend before for a guy who runs tournaments, and took care of the fields and handed rings out to ourselves because we won the tournament.
Hey.
It was pretty cool. Um, but ran the whole tournament, did all that at one of the fields for him. So he gave me a tournament for free because he
Oh,
usually pays whoever runs a specific location. He'll give them a few $100 or whatever for helping in their time. And instead we got that tournament. So instead we had a tryout right before the tournament and a tryout right after the tournament.
okay. So let's follow up. If you're watching this and you didn't watch the previous week, either go back and watch it or the quick summary is there's a kid in your organization who plays for the other 12U team, correct? Who is coached by a friend of yours who you have coached with. And it's from what I understand, similar to your team, mostly the same kids for the last few years, right?
Yep.
There's one of his better kids that came to your tryout and wanted to try out for your team. And he had a good tryout, I guess, and you had an opportunity to offer him a spot on the team, but you were thinking about how you were going to handle it with the coach, that conversation you were going to have to have. Did that all play out?
So I never officially offered the kid a spot,
Okay.
uh, just because of my relationship with the other guy. I wanted to have a conversation with him first. I did ask the kid to play in the tournament with us,
Hmm.
right? So we did talk about that. So um, once he found out he was playing in the tournament, he immediately turned around and gave the kid 24 hours to make a decision. He texted me and said, "Hey, so and so may be coming to you." I gave him till tomorrow to figure it out. And I was like, then we had our conversation. Totally cool. Conversation was good. Um, we have no issues with each other at all. I don't think because that's the way it came out as. I mean, I didn't do anything. Kid came to try out. I never said, "Hey, you made the team." All I said, "Hey, we got another tryout coming uh, after the tournament, but I got an extra spot on the roster because I got a couple kids out of town. Do you want to play?" So yeah, one thing leads to another, and a long conversation. And it was before our second game. It was the day that you saw us. That was when he gave him the day. He gave him that whole day, and he had to respond by the next day.
Okay.
So, yeah, I'm not a big fan of the whole, you only have this amount of time.
that seems,
Yeah.
let's
It's
address that in a minute. So
okay.
yeah, so you,
So he ended up picking up another kid on his team that plays the same position, which is one of the big reasons he was thinking about changing teams. Everything goes through, and there's other stuff that went on, but we'll just leave it at that. It he stayed with his team. The kid stayed with the team. Had a
oh,
fantastic tournament with me. His parents are awesome. There, I felt bad for them because they went through the whirlwind through the whole thing, and just it was all good. Everybody's back to where they were, and all sides are copacetic.
okay. Wow, that's not what I expected. It sounded to me last week like this kid was gonna be
It felt that way.
on your
It
team.
it felt that way
Okay.
when it all went down, um, which I'd have been cool with, but it no again more tough conversations that have to be had, right? So uh, we'll see. I offered now with that happening. We had a tryout the other day, and I had a man child come to my tryout, 100% raw, complete the probably as much power as my best kid, but only swings with his arms.
Okay.
The fastest kid I've ever seen in my life. He won the home to home around the bases. He won the competition in Cooperstown when his team went to Cooperstown this year. 104 teams in it. You can put one kid in it from every team in it. Beat some of the, and it's all like national level teams that go to this thing, and he won. Um,
Wow.
Stupid fast. Very green. Played. This was his first year of select ball, and he was hurt during workouts, winter workouts, so he didn't get a lot of training. And they basically said, "Go play center field and go catch, sprint, and catch balls."
Hmm.
Struck out a lot, but when he hits it, it's hit.
Wow.
So I got to see him on Monday. Offered him a spot. Still haven't heard back. Told him to take his time because I'm not a guy that's going to tell you to take whatever, whatever. Now I did shoot a little text over about a half hour before this started, just making sure they didn't have any questions for me, seeing how things are going, checking in.
Okay.
No response yet, but that's okay. I'm all right with that. We'll
Yeah.
figure it out. Uh, he didn't try out for any other teams as of then, so we'll see how it goes.
Okay.
So in the end, it could end up being okay because uh, we'll still be able to pick up somebody that makes us better.
Okay. Nice. Are you kind of, are you a little bit glad that he's raw because then you get to teach your habits and you get to teach your just the way you teach baseball, or
Not
would you
necessarily
rather it be
because
polished?
he's still been playing baseball just at the rec level,
Hmm.
and so they're bad habits at this point.
Yeah.
So it's a project, uh, and that means more time spent with one kid, less time spent with the whole team. You know how that goes.
Yeah.
Um, you know, but but I believe it will be. He's a hard worker. He's a wrestler. He's got a second level, bro. This dude has a second level. It's it's different.
So what position is he gonna, would he play center field for you? No, you,
Yeah,
no.
yeah. He'll play center
Really?
field, maybe some left. I told his
Because you
dad,
have a, because Wee Man's son has wheels. That's who played center for you in that
"Oh,
July 4th game,
this
right?
kid put him in the. Will put it puts his. I mean, he's fast. Don't get me wrong. But like, bro's fast, right?
Yeah,
My center fielder's quick. Just ask his dad; he'll tell you.
sure.
Um, Text just came over the wire. The answer, sorry, I forgot to get back to you. I meant to text you again last night. The answer is yes.
Yeah.
All right, see if I can pull this down. Oh, I wish I could take a screenshot of us doing the podcast with that coming across. It looked like the ticker tape at the top of like an ES, like you're watching an ESPN show, and it came across.
You get breaking news on this podcast. That's what you
That's
get.
right. That is
Now,
it. That is right.
now, will it be breaking news in 2 or 3 days when people listen to it? No, it's going to be old.
No, everyone will know by then. Oh
Wow,
man,
that's cool. Congratulations on that.
thank you.
So I
He
feel
is
like
in.
excellent. I feel like that makes it a that gives us a good transition. You
Woo!
mentioned that you might have to. Oh, you got another one?
No, I'm just excited.
Just excited? Oh, good.
I was nervous because I didn't have. I didn't. I did. I yeah. Needed that. Needed that. That was big. That was big.
Good. Good. Okay. Okay, so is the stress reduced a little bit then, or is it still because here's the thing.
Yeah.
Let me ask you why I'm asking that. It's exciting as it is to get a new player that you think is going to make you better. You also are going to have to make space on your team by probably I imagine by maybe letting somebody that played for you before not play for you next year. You had to do that, correct?
Correct.
Okay. So,
Call you back.
like
I got to make text from the old watch right now. Sorry.
you're good. You're good. Handle your business. Um okay. So like we talked about before,
I do. Yes. So this morning,
this yeah, go
so
ahead.
I already offered a spot to another kid who had a fantastic tryout on our first tryout. He accepted on Sunday. So that was big, right? So we were certified the slowest team in the city of Cincinnati, straight up. They're like I've got a certificate, the slowest team. We played a game on Sunday, Adam, in the first game. I got a kid. We're playing a bad team. Shortstop, little chubby fellow with a mullet, hard worker, right on. I'm not trying. I'm just. It just is what it is. Dives, misses the ball, stands up, walks over, picks it up, and still throws one of my kids out at first base. And he was hustling.
Wow.
That
Okay.
being said, the kid I offered that accepted on Sunday from our first tryout, which was that Wednesday or Tuesday? Wednesday. He uh, he was fast, fast. He would have been the fastest one on our team. He would have been tied with the fastest kid on our team when we ran that day.
Hmm.
Um, he's not the fastest kid anymore. Now this other kid is the fastest kid, but we just got marketably faster.
Yeah.
And the kid that's coming up from the team below, which I talked about him a little bit last week on the pod, um, he's fast. Not crazy fast, but fast. He also made one out all weekend that he played with me.
Jeez.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. old boy was raking. So I'm feeling good, man. I feel like we got better. But yes, I had to get the part that sucked. Um, we have had the same team for 3 years, and we've got the best group of families, the best group of people. Just everybody's really got to know each other. And there are some people that are towards the bottom that I believe understood what was going on, and one of them I had a conversation with to explain to him. And before that, weeks before that, it was we don't have to break this up. We can just keep this thing going. Da, da, da. It's like, yeah, I know we can. But the point of what we're doing and where we're at is to get better.
Hmm.
Um, and for some of the kids on the team, it's important that we get better so we can compete at a higher level for that they deserve to compete at. Does that make
Hmm.
sense?
Yeah.
Yeah. So yeah, I had to make two calls today. One of them was brief. Um, got a text later on. Probably a good thing it was brief. Uh, but in the end, I truly believe everything will be okay because I really do love him. I love the family. I love all of it. And
Yeah.
it's the I hate it's not personal. I hate that whole thing because it is
Mhm.
personal to me. It's very personal. To me it is. At the same time, what I'm doing is not like I'm not doing it because I don't like
Right.
something.
Yeah.
And then I had to have a conversation with another one, and basically say, hey, if this other kid says yes, you're the next one. He's the next one. But that was more of a we knew what was coming. He's probably the best soccer player. I bet he's in the top 10% of soccer players in the city. So
Wow.
he focuses very hard on soccer. He's also a good baseball player. Um, but his commitment is to soccer. He does the best he can, but they spring soccer is huge now. It's not just fall, it's spring too.
Wow.
So he'll probably move down a level, which is good for him because there is a team I know for sure for a fact that will schedule their baseball around his soccer. So
Wow.
yeah, so awesome. I hope that works out. Um, and yeah, speaking of, I gotta let him know
Yeah. Do it.
I'm doing it right now. So yeah, that's where we're at, brother. It's not fun, and it was one phone call was extremely hard. The other one was out. It was made easier. But there's something about that. Like
Oh,
I sent,
sucks.
dude, I got another 15 pages over here that I told people to give me an email address. I just emailed the rest of these fools. I don't give a shit. Like I told the kids, you'll get an email if you don't make the team. I'll call you if you do. I mean,
Oh,
15 people. I'm not calling 15 people anymore. First off,
yeah.
13 of those people should know when they were at the tryout that they didn't make the team. I don't mean it in, I'm not making fun of anybody. It's obvious when you walk out and are outmatched. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, I feel like I've had that before in basketball. Not too much because our numbers in girls basketball were never very good. We would have anytime we had to cut, it'd be like maybe two kids at the most.
Yeah.
Um, so but I've had to have those conversations and um it's usually taken well, but like also the kids were so nervous. Some of them just came in and started crying right away before they knew whether or not they made the team or not. And and the good thing was when they started like crying or shaking and you're like and I got to be like, what are you okay? Like and I get to say you don't have to like you can turn them into tears of joy because you made the team, or it's like I hopefully and I always framed it like um we want you to be around the team, so we want you to be a team manager if you're willing to do that because I think you can work on your game and be ready for tryouts next year. And pretty much every time I said that, that wasn't the truth, but it was like you're never going to play high school basketball. But there might have been a case or two where that was close, but anyway, either way, yeah, it is really hard to let a kid down or what, But did you talk to the kid or just the parents?
I only talk to the kid if I'm telling him he made the team. Uh,
Okay.
to me, at 12 years old, that's not a phone call that needs to be made to the kid.
Yeah.
Uh, when I was that age in basketball and I got cut, that call never came to me. Even the acceptance call only went to my mom and dad. You know what I mean? Like in basketball, when we made a team where I got cut, it was made to the mom and dad. I think that's the right way to do it. I do though with kids I know, I'll be like, hey, is so and so there? And they'll be like, and those are the funniest conversations because little boys don't know how to. They're just like, okay,
Yeah.
yeah, thanks. I'll be like, you ready, bro? Yeah. I,
Yeah.
I said that to one kid the other day, and I was like, that never goes the way I plan it to go.
You want them to be so much more excited.
Yes.
And I'm sure they are, but they just don't. Yeah, you're right. It's an awkward age.
It is very.
Okay. So my last question about this baseball thing before we get going, why why give okay, I'll just take a guess and see if this is anywhere close. Do you give a kid 24 hours to decide because you have to make other decisions on other kids
No,
based on
no.
that kid's
Well,
decision?
so it depends. Sometimes that's it, right? Because I'll tell you this: there's two types of coaches out there. Okay, we all know that. I've had conversations with tons of coaches, and a lot of them go, "I offer a kid. He came to my tryout. If he wanted to play for me, you got 24 hours to give me an answer. If you don't want to, if you just came to the tryout and you really didn't want to play, then and you're trying out for a bunch of other teams, well, I'm telling you, you made this team. You came to my tryout. You made this team. Do you want it or not?" Um, and then there are some that will give you a time frame because they have a list of other kids that they are going to ask if you say no.
Hmm.
And before those kids are lost to other teams, they want to make sure they get in front of them. So they'll give you the time frame. Um, so yeah, yeah, it depends, and every coach is different. Every
I
coach is
gotcha.
every coach is
Yep.
different. So I don't like that. I'm not a fan of that. Like they're kids. You shouldn't be putting this much pressure on a 12 and 13-year-old to make a decision like that. Like this is you spend too much time. Look, I play baseball. We play baseball at a pretty good level, right? Like I we joke around about basketball and football and youth sports and it's year long and all this crazy stuff. Well, it's no joke. I'll be honest
Hmm.
with you. I know who I am. I know what I do. I'm that guy. But in order to compete and stay abreast with everybody, we've got to continue to do stuff. Now, at that same time, at that same time, off-season stuff is if you've got your in-season sport, do I don't expect to see you. Don't be there, right?
Hmm.
But
Yep.
we're still going to have it, and you'll see progressions through that.
Yeah.
So,
Yep.
my point is I don't remember what my point is. Oh, I don't know. I don't even know where my point was with that.
That's right. So to me, I do understand if you have to make if you're waiting on a kid's decision to be able to offer another kid, then I understand that. If that's not the case and you have you're having tryouts immediately after the season ends, you have a long off season, then the 24-hour thing is a little bit even if you give them a time frame because you want to know who's on your team,
Well, we
that's
start
fine, but
fall ball. We start fall ball at the end of August.
fall ball, yeah, right. Fall ball, so and that's the same team.
That'll be the team that we
That'll be
just started.
okay.
Yeah. So that this team that just tried out, yeah, I'm not gonna ask a kid I just cut to come play fall ball for me.
Sure.
But funny thing is, that kid that ended up staying with the other team, within 25 to 30 seconds, within that amount of time, he comes up to me and he goes, "Yo, coach, hey, you got any fall ball spots open? You just call me, brother." He's a funny kid. Kid's funny as I'll get out. But he's just kind of like, just let me know. And I'm like, you got it, bro. You'll be the first one to know. First one to know.
I'm sure that's a really tough position for a kid that age to be in. Like he wants to play for you, but he also wants to play for the team that he's been with, right?
100%. A
So,
hundred percent.
yeah, so I'm sure he probably feels some sort of obligation to stay with that team, which is fine. But he also, especially because he already got a taste of playing with your team, and his very first game, you guys scored 27 runs. That's a pretty good feeling to play with a team like that. So I imagine, yeah, I'm sure he wants to play whenever he can sub for you guys. I'm sure he'd love to.
Yeah. 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 Absolutely. Yeah. It was fun to have all that go down. It was a lot of fun.
I got
A
you.
lot of fun.
Okay. So,
But no, there is a different type of person out there. So, but I remember my point now. My point is you can't give them forever because all these kids are finding teams right now, and if you don't get an offer, you're immediately trying to find another team, immediately trying to find another team, so yeah. If but what I would do is if I go and I not get a response, I will probably call that second person, which I did this time, and I feel like honesty is the best thing you can have, and
Mhm.
I'll say, hey, just letting you know, I offered so and so a spot. Um, I haven't accepted yet. If they don't, you will be my next call. I just want you to know that if they do, then it's not going to go that way.
Okay. That's really interesting too. Um,
I feel like it's
because
good to be honest. And if that kid really
yeah,
wants to play with me, maybe he'll stick around, but I don't want him to stick around because if the kid says yes, now I feel like I held him out, right? I had him held back from other teams. I don't want to do that either.
yeah. Yeah, it also, I wonder how many kids think of it like, well, thank you for the honesty, but if I'm your second choice, that doesn't feel good.
Totally
You
fine.
know?
That's
Yeah.
why I'm being honest.
Yeah.
And if you were to tell me no, like straight up, I get it, but no, I'm good. I'd be like, I totally get it. We need to be honest together. It's important.
Yeah.
Like I accept your honesty because I'm being honest with you.
Yeah.
I'm a but I am a little bit different. A lot of these guys that coach at these higher levels, they never got cut from anything. I got cut from a lot of stuff when I was young. Not a lot, but I got cut from basketball fifth and sixth grade. I got cut from my baseball team that was fantastic when I was in seventh grade. And it sucked. And it felt kind of, the baseball thing kind of felt kind of shady on the backside, like there wasn't a lot of communication and it just happens. So um, I think that's a big reason why I try to be that. And I say all the time, my son will never get cut from my baseball team. And I think that's the worst thing in the world because I feel like every kid should get cut from something at some point in their life. I truly do. Find out what kind of
Well,
person you are. Because you have two roads to take. I quit or I'm going to get better.
mhm. Yeah. Yeah. I mean, there's a perk to having your dad as a coach for sure. I mean, my dad was my basketball coach growing up. Uh, Now we were always bad, so I didn't have a problem making the team. It didn't matter. It wasn't. I didn't make the team because I was good. It was I
No,
made the team because everybody wasn't good.
and you were good.
I wasn't
And
very
you
good
worked.
in grade school.
And you worked your tail off. And your dad treats you differently, right? There are some people
Sure.
daddy ball is a big thing out there. The word daddy ball. I got a shirt that says daddy ball on it with a circle and a line through it. And I can't always wear it because I'm the coach. So it makes it, but like, I truly do not believe in that.
Yeah, but it goes two different directions. Like it can either be a guy coaches and plays his son all the time, thinks he's better than he really is. And and I've seen a lot of people, and I know that you're this way, much harder on your son
Yeah.
than you are on the other kids because
Yeah.
you're so much more invested in his success and everything.
Well,
Not
and if I'm going to yell at a 10-year-old, I'm going to yell
yeah,
at my son. If I'm
yeah,
irritated with the whole team and my son is even a little tiny part of it, he's going to get the entire brunt of it. And everybody sees me yell at him and they know that I'm not scared to yell at them. You know what I mean?
yeah,
So I feel like that's a big thing. And we've talked about it on this podcast. I've had the conversation with Parker in the car after a practice that wasn't directed at you. I just want you to know I love you, right? But that wasn't directed at you.
yeah,
And he's like, and towards the end, now he'll be like, I know, I know, I know. It's like, all right, good, good. As long
yeah,
as you understand that.
yeah,
Although this year, towards the end of the year, I had no problem. I was having no problem let certain people know when I was irritated.
sure. Yeah. I mean, you were saying that you're getting a little bit, you're gradually building that like tougher coaching style with the kids because you're trying to prepare them for high school ball and whatever, maybe beyond.
Yeah.
Because I mean, Mark Thompson's not going to be nice to you if you miss a sign or if you if you miss fumble a ground ball or something like that, he's not going to be nice to you.
Yeah.
Um, so anyway, yeah, you do a great job. I enjoy watching you coach. So it's fun to stay in the know with your teams.
Yes.
It's fun.
Yes.
Okay.
Speaking of, might as well let's hear how your team did down in Louisville.
So this past weekend we were in Columbus.
Oh,
I'm
Columbus.
leaving tomorrow for Louisville for our last tournament of the season also.
There was something to that. I just couldn't remember.
Yes. So we did all right. We came out and played really well in our first game, and we have the month of June off. So it's almost like kind of two different, like a spring and summer season sort of with AAU, because in June the schools do camps and scrimmages and stuff like that. So they're with their school team in June. So anyway, so we came back first first tournament in a month. Columbus girls played great the first game.
Yeah.
I was really happy because we ended the spring session really well. They were playing their best basketball at the end of that session. So came back. I'm like, okay, great. I mean, they're looking good. They're playing really hard on defense, and I love that. Second game on Saturday, laid a major egg. I mean, just came out, no energy, horrible effort, not just just standing there watching people rebound. It it was bad. It was bad. Got beat by 37, I want to say, in that second game. I'm
Ooh,
telling you, this team isn't, they're good. They were good. They're not better than us, and they beat us by 37.
jeez, Pete.
I'll tell you when a team is better than us. If they're
I,
way more talented or something, yeah, yeah. So we just didn't play. I mean, we had nothing. So anyway, that was really disappointing. So because we went 1-1 on Saturday, we played like if you go 2-0 on Saturday in your pool play, you play on Sunday in the gold tournament. If you go 1-1 on Saturday, you play in the silver tournament. If you go 0-2 on Saturday, you play in the bronze tournament. We were in the silver tournament. So we ended up playing, so if you lose your first game, you're done. But we won our first two games on Sunday, made it to the championship game of the silver bracket, and then lost. And it was the same kind of thing. They were just so out of gas. They had nothing left. And so it was, and we told them, like, look, this team played the same amount of games you did. Sure, 5 games, 5 basketball games in 2 days is a lot.
yeah,
But this team played the same amount of games too. So
and they're still hustling.
they're still playing really hard. I mean, they had one really good athletic girl. Everybody else was just okay. They weren't even as good as the other team that beat us real bad. But they had a little bit of a lead most of the game, but it was pretty close. And then like the last 3 or 4 minutes, I would say the last 3 minutes, they made like six threes. And so they pulled away and they beat us by like 20, 25 or something like that. So it ended pretty disappointing.
That
Um,
sounds like end of the game, a little bit of lacking in defense.
yeah, for sure. Yeah. And they made everything they shot in that last. It was yeah, they just everything they threw up went in. We did not shoot the ball well either. And we're a decent shooting team. So anyway, it just didn't work out in that game. But, we went 3-2 on the weekend. We got some work in for this weekend is called Run for the Roses. It's like the big tournament. So
Oh yeah,
there are like 88 courts or something at this tournament with games going on, all of them at all times. And teams come from different countries to play in this tournament. So
are you
um,
serious?
yeah. Yeah, I forget what they said. Um I just saw a thing today. It's I don't 11 different countries or something like that are represented here. Um, it's big. It's big time. So we're gonna go down and do our best. We're there for 6 days. That's a long time to be only an hour and a half away or whatever, but uh, so I'm not excited about being in Louisville for 6 days, but I'm excited for hopefully 6 days of basketball, you know?
Yeah, that sounds like fun, but 6 days, you're going to get to know somebody. There's going to be a parent that's going to really make it their point to get to know you.
Probably.
Have you had that
I
happen yet?
Yeah, I've gotten to know a few of the parents a little bit better. There was one tournament a couple months ago that me and the person I'm coaching with met a couple of the moms that she's friends with
Hmm.
after one of the games, and we hung out and got pizza and just went outside at the little patio area at this hotel. So I talked to them and got to know them a little bit, and one of the dads talks to me a little bit, and he's the one that complained about us at the beginning of the year, but
Of
he
course, he's the one that's going to talk to you
sure, yeah.
because he wants
So
to fill
anyway,
you out on how much he can influence you.
that could be. He used to coach this team. When they were in grade school playing AAU ball in grade school, he was their coach up until ninth grade.
Yeah, yeah,
And
yeah. That
so he has his philosophies and stuff, I'm sure. And his daughter is the best player on the team. So he uh he was disappointed our first weekend we were terrible, and he was calling about why didn't my daughter make the other team, because there are two teams of the same age, and they're a little bit better probably than us. So anyway, so he was all upset about that, and it turns out that things have worked out fine,
of
you
course
know.
they do because you
And
can't. You got to have a. You can't take everything off. If you're going to play 25 games, you can't go off 3 games to
yeah,
know what kind of team you are.
right. And at the beginning, I could tell she was influenced by him because she had all kinds of uh, eye roll, bad body language stuff when we would be talking in timeouts, and looking like, she giving us looks, or looking out of the corner of her eye at her teammates that she's friends with, like that looks like these people don't know what they're talking about or what they're doing or whatever.
Yep.
She's really come around. She's been a lot better with that stuff. I started like getting on her, like kind of coaching her a little bit harder, not too bad, and I had a conversation with her after one game, sat down next to her, and I was like, hey, because that happened during a timeout or whatever, and maybe there was a free throw late in the game or in a close game or something, and she came over and was asking me something, and I told her, and she like got all frustrated, and
Wasn't the answer she wanted to hear.
I guess not. And I don't even remember what it was now, but I went over after the game and I was like, "Hey, let's talk about this. You were frustrated with me about what we talked about there. What's going on? Can we talk through
Yeah,
this or whatever?" And she's like, and right away she's like, "Yeah, I'm sorry. That was, I just I thought you meant this," and it just ended up being like a miscommunication. We just misunderstood what
sure.
I misunderstood what she was asking. She misunderstood what I was saying. And so anyway, that I feel like after that, um, she felt a little bit better, maybe a little bit more comfortable with me or something. So anyway, that worked out. She was in the beginning a very good offensive player and did not care about playing defense. And I got on her early about that. And she's turned herself into a pretty good defensive player. She's a much more complete player than I expected she was going to be. And so I'm really proud of the effort and stuff that she's put in. She plays almost every minute of every game too.
Yeah,
Um, and I've talked to her about, she's pretty I don't know. Some people would say like soft, but she's just like any she'll get to the rim, or she'll dribble through traffic, and any little bump she's throwing herself to the floor. And
okay, Parker Witt.
yeah, well, a lot of kids, yeah, but she definitely is big on that. And she's too good, she's too skilled to be doing that, because she takes herself out of
Mhm.
the play, and she gets some calls sometimes when
and
she
and
does
it
that.
becomes a weaker shot.
Yes,
If
100%.
you go stronger, you're going to put up a much more effective shot.
We have another girl who's the opposite of her, super tough, but she does the same thing. She drives really hard to the rim. she takes a bump and she wants to get a call, so she just throws up an off balance shot at the rim and hits the floor hard. And sometimes she gets a call because she does that, but then sometimes she doesn't. And then she's slow to get up because she hit the floor hard. And then she's got to get back on defense. And, and so I've been on both of them. Like you gotta go in there assuming you're gonna take bumps and trying to stay on your feet. And
Yes.
so anyway, it's because you're gonna get a more balanced shot generally, and you're not gonna take yourself all the way out of the play if the ball starts going, down the floor. So anyway, just little stuff like that. This is very boring for anybody to listen to, but um, yeah, I'm really from the way it started to where it is now. I'm much happier than I thought I might be uh, when the season started. So anyway, our last weekend, no matter what, coming up here. So leaving tomorrow, and we'll see what happens. There's apparently this is the biggest. So there are college coaches at almost every tournament, but this is the one. There's supposed to be like over 2,000 college coaches there or something, and like some of the bigger ones will come to this tournament. So, um, if we if this ends up being our last podcast, it might be because Gino Ariema met me and hired me. Um,
Oh, that
just
means you're going to turn down the eighth grade Oak Hills girls select team coach.
I think I will probably rescind my offer to be their coach if I'm
Yeah,
offered a
that's
high
700.
level
That's seven
college.
hundred dollars is not going to be enough for you.
If Gino Auriemma hired me to clean the toilet in his private bathroom, I'd probably take that job over over this one.
Just to be around Gino Ariel.
Sure. I mean,
I totally agree.
yeah.
Couldn't
So
agree.
so anyway, that's what's going on with my team. Um, I don't know. That's it. I mean, congratulations to Ellie De La Cruz and Andrew Abbott for being the Reds that are going to represent the Reds at the All-Star game. That's pretty exciting. And what else is going on? I don't know. I'm going next. Well, we'll talk about that before. I'm going to the 3-point contest for the WNBA All-Star Weekend
Oh, that is
next week.
awesome.
hmm So, yeah, thank you.
Yeah, you're
Thank you
welcome.
for thank you for the clap. Uh, hopefully that translates to whatever. I'm sure it will. It'll be if you're watching on YouTube. Uh, Chris figured out the how to use the emojis, which I have no clue. I would have
On
to.
Zoom. Yeah,
Yeah.
got some Zoom emojis going.
Anyway, okay. I feel like it might be time for Joe List. Do you feel that way?
Um,
No,
uh,
not Joe List. Not Joe List. It might be time for the Mount Rushmore of
for
worst
the
movies we've
this
seen.
this is not just the worst movies we've ever seen. This is the worst list.
This is the worst Mount Rushmore we've ever done.
I'm not saying the worst Mount Rushmore, but it's the worst list I've ever had to try to come up with.
I'm saying it's the worst Mount Rushmore. Yeah, this was really, really hard. I struggled to come up with four. I struggled to come up with one,
I
but then I managed to find four. But it's tough.
yeah.
So you have a list of at least four, huh?
Uh yeah, I've got some I've got a list. Um I
I can't
did
wait for
you
the
do
transition
did
to
you
Joe list.
did you do movies you've seen, right? This is movies we've seen. We can't just choose what
Yeah,
people say are bad movies.
right, right. Because I don't know if it's bad for real. Like, sure, there
Exactly.
are movies
Yeah,
that got terrible reviews, but if I didn't see it, I don't feel qualified to say that it was a bad movie.
right.
So yes, would you like to begin, or would you like me to begin?
Uh I'll I'll start.
Okay,
I'm
we can
fine
go
with it.
back and forth if you want. Sometimes we
No?
do that.
Okay, let's do that. Let's go back and
Okay.
forth. I'll start with everybody talks about how sequels are always terrible. Like the
hmm
sequel's never as good, right?
Yep.
I'm gonna go with The Sandlot 2. And
Ooh.
only because I think it's because I love The Sandlot so much.
Yep. Yep. Totally get that. Okay. Um, I don't think I ever saw The Sandlot 2.
Ah, oh well, there you go.
I've seen The Sandlot 1,000 times, but not The Sandlot 2. Okay, I'm gonna start with a movie called Lost in Translation.
Never saw
That okay, that is a Bill Murray movie, and I love Bill Murray, he's great. Um, but in most of these movies are movies that I feel like I saw one time and I was falling asleep, and
it.
which doesn't necessarily mean it was because it was boring. I also just fall asleep while I watch movies, um, but this one, I think I rented this and watched it with somebody I was dating a long, long time ago,
Yeah.
and I think we both maybe fell asleep, or I know I did, and we both like stopped it before the end, or maybe I don't
Yep.
know,
Just
maybe
said I'm done.
yeah, and we were both like, "This is terrible." I can't tell you one thing about the movie. I don't remember,
Yep.
but I
I,
remember
I got a lot of
thinking it was
movies.
bad.
I have a lot of movies like that.
Yeah,
The
I
problem
don't
is
have.
I don't remember what the movies were because I turned them
Oh,
off and I could care less about them.
I gotcha. Yeah,
And they're
even
gone from
movies.
my existence.
Yes, even some movies that like maybe I saw in the movie theater once. I don't remember half the movies I've seen in my life.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Even if at the time I might have liked them a little bit, I just they're gone from my memory. If I don't see it at least two or three times, eh.
Yep. I
So
agree.
anyway, Lost
All
in
right.
translation for me.
I'm going to go with one that might be a little controversial. I love Adam Sandler.
Hmm.
I mean, I love Adam Sandler. He's known for making a couple bad movies,
Yep.
but the very first movie he ever did, Going Overboard, was bad. I own the DVD.
So do I. Or
That
do
was
it might
that
be the
was
VHS. I don't know.
I own the DVD. It was one of my very first DVDs I bought when I joined the DVD club back in the day. You got like
Nice.
you got like 10 DVDs for free if you bought one.
Yeah.
And then you had to remember to send that damn thing back in the mail.
Yeah. Yep. I'm trying to remember what that was because they did that with CDs first.
Yeah, that was
Or
BG
mailers.
BGM or something like that was the CDs, wasn't it?
Yeah, maybe something like that. Yeah.
I don't even know what it stands for. But anyway, there you go.
Okay. Going overboard. That's a good one. Yeah,
What
I
did you
mean,
think
because
about
that's,
Uncut Gems?
you know what? It was definitely a different movie or a
I,
different kind of role for
I
him
don't
for sure.
think I liked it just because he wasn't funny. I think that's why I didn't like it.
It was hard, and his character was so frustrating because
Yeah,
he just kept making bad decisions. He was like addicted to gambling, and he just
yeah.
could not shake it. And he ended up, well, uh, if you haven't seen it, see it. I almost gave away the ending, but I
Yeah,
mean,
he died. He ends up in a very bad situation.
he gets killed. Yeah, I mean, um, because of his decision making. All right. But I did watch that like three or four times
Yeah.
because it was also kind of a riveting movie. I'm gonna go with a movie that I'm pretty sure it started as like a made for TV movie. This is called Michael Jordan, An American Hero. This is not a documentary about Michael Jordan. These are actors that played young Michael Jordan, and it's like a low budget movie from a long time ago. Now, I have it on DVD. Um, Ernie
Because you,
Hudson, who if you looked him up, you would recognize him, and Robin Givens, who you probably know,
okay.
they're in it. I think they played his parents. So they're big name actors in this thing. But other than those two, I don't think there's anybody big. And it was a movie from a long time ago, and it was a very cheaply made
Yeah.
movie about Michael Jordan. And it was the same thing. I think I bought it because I saw it at a store or something. I didn't even know about it, and I saw it on DVD. I bought it and watched it one time, and I was like, "Ooh, this is rough."
Yeah.
So there it is.
Yeah. I don't, yeah. I've never seen that one.
Yeah, I don't think anybody has.
Probably not.
I might have the only copy of that.
The rest of them are in a media play graveyard.
Yes, that might be where I got it from.
From that big bin,
Yeah,
$2.
of $1 DVDs.
Yes. Oh God. All right, so I'm gonna stick with what I said last week, and I'm going with Black Knight,
Martin Lawrence.
only because I didn't get to see a lot of it because the movie theater was all goofed up.
Yeah, and that's not one of the things that Martin Lawrence is known for.
No,
Um,
no.
so yeah, okay. Yep, I'm with you on that. I'm gonna go. There's a movie. This was another like dollar bin DVD thing that I saw one time and got it and watched it once. I think I also may have fallen asleep and I
Uh-huh.
watched it that one time 20 years ago or something. It's called The Basketball Fix from 1951. A
Whoa.
basketball movie from 1951.
Were
So
they shooting into pear baskets?
the what?
Were they shooting in pear baskets? Isn't that what they were called? Like
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
peach baskets?
Beach baskets.
Whatever. Sorry.
Uh, I don't think so. But maybe because I saw most of the movie a very long time ago, so I don't remember. But I think it was about some like young, promising basketball player who got caught up with a crowd that was that got into gambling, which back then was even a bigger deal. And so it was, some crime involved or something like that. And that's all I really know about it. I don't remember much about it except for it's an old black and white movie. And it was, I mean, basketball movies are always real. The basketball sequences are always terrible.
Yeah.
And so this one is from the 50s, so you can imagine it's worse than like the Saved by the Bell basketball episode or the Fresh Prince basketball episode or the Happy Days basketball episode where the court you can tell the lines of the court, the lane is like 2 feet wide, the
Yep.
free throw line's like 4 feet from the rim or
Yeah.
something.
The
It's
corner,
so
the corner three is a 8 footer.
yeah. Yeah, it's so strange. And like they have like one guy that can play basketball. The rest of them are actors who cannot play, and it's really bad basketball. So anyway, I think this was like that. That's three for me.
So I gotta say my fourth. God, there's so many. I don't even know. I hate most movies I watch.
Really?
Yeah, I'm not a
I feel
movie
like I
guy.
like most movies I watch.
Well, maybe I do. Maybe I do. Maybe I just choose to skip over a lot of movies. Okay, I know what I'm gonna go with. Um, Give me a second here. I gotta remember exactly what it's called. Um, Spookly the Square Pumpkin.
Wow.
Yeah, that's a
I
movie that we watch every year during Halloween, and I hate every second of it.
Very interesting. Okay.
Yeah.
Um, why is it so bad? What's it about?
It's about a pumpkin that's square and everybody makes fun of him.
Hmm.
It's
Cartoon?
not, yeah. Oh, are we not allowed to do cartoons?
No, that's all right. It's a
Oh, okay.
movie.
All right.
Yeah.
All right. Yeah,
Um,
it's it just sucks. It's a
I got
bullying movie that
you.
dumb doesn't even make sense. None of it makes sense.
All right. Okay. This last one, I'm gonna go. This is gonna be, I'm gonna get letters on this one. But worst movie I've ever seen, Field of Dreams. No, I'm just kidding. I'm just kidding. I'm just kidding. No, I'm just kidding. I love Field of Dreams. I'm joking.
Oh boy.
You were, it's not, that was a joke. Um, you were on the money with sequels. I feel like that's probably I didn't even really think about that, but that's probably the easiest place to find the worst movies.
Hmm.
So my fourth one is a sequel. The first movie of this series or whatever is one of my top five favorite movies of all time. This sequel in the lead was not the same lead in this second one, but I love, love, love the actor. Jason Bateman in Teen Wolf 2.
I almost said that.
Did you?
I did. I almost said that. The problem is, I don't know that I ever actually watched
Okay. I've got it on DVD.
it.
I have all of my worst movies on DVD.
That's pretty bad that you own all the movies you hate.
Except actually I don't have Lost in Translation, but the other three I have. Um, so anyway, Teen Wolf 2 is I love Jason Bateman. It's instead of basketball, it's boxing, which I like, but he's a makes the college boxing team.
Oh,
And
gee.
it's even, it seems like
Worse
it's
than
even more low budget. It seems like it's even worse. Like just the storyline is terrible. He's Scott Howard's cousin. So, and Scott, I guess they couldn't get Michael J. Fox to do the second one. So his Michael J. Fox's dad from the first one
yeah.
takes takes Jason Bateman to college. Like his uncle is taking him to college and dropping him off just so he could be in the movie. Like it was it was really, really bad. There's a terrible dance karaoke scene. It's just
And I'm sure the boxing is horrendous.
yes.
Just
It's
like the
boxing is sort
basketball. Well, the
yes.
basketball is horrendous in Teen Wolf. So,
Honestly, that's what take like, Rocky is one of the greatest movies ever, and everybody loves Rocky, and even two and three,
and
it,
4 and 5.
and four and five. And the boxing, when I watch Rocky now, the boxing takes me out of it a little bit. I'm like, I don't enjoy this movie as much because I realize now how bad the boxing sequences are. This is 10 times worse than Rocky. Everybody's hands are down. Everybody's telegraphing every punch. It's, of course, you got the big, strong guy from the rival team. It only takes him one punch to knock everybody out. Um, it's just, but then he gets knocked down and he turns into the wolf and he gets up and suddenly he's an incredible boxer.
Yep.
So there's the whole movie. You don't have to watch it now.
I love it. Thank you.
You're welcome. There it is. Mount
Well
Rushmore of
done.
worst movies.
Well done.
We
Well
did
done.
it.
Yes,
That
we
was
did.
hard.
Yes, we did. Yes, we did. Now
Let's move
on
on to the
to
last
let's
list.
get out of that list and go to the. You beat me to it.
We were gonna do the same thing.
All right, Joe List. Small ball.
Yes.
Okay. All right. What'd you think, brother?
Um, I'm guilty of expecting a lot from this because I'm a big Joe List guy. I kind of had a feeling this was gonna happen, but I was okay with it actually. Um, he posts so much he posts so much content from the shows that he does throughout the year that I heard a lot of these jokes just from him
Uh,
posting stuff.
that
Most
sucks.
comedians, yeah, most comedians don't do that for that reason because they want to
Yeah.
get this out on a special and they don't want to have all their jokes seen before this. So, but I saw the Pablo Picasso bit, the whole Pablo Picasso thing. I saw that kind of early on when he started doing that joke in a couple videos, but it was fun to see how he like polished it up a little bit. Like it was the
Sure.
same joke, but it was like funnier for the special than when the first time I saw it, I was like, oh my God, that's hilarious. I love that. He was, he owned a car. He was still alive in the 70s, right? He thought
I
he,
would have never known that. I went
yeah.
to the big giant Picasso thing that was downtown.
You still didn't know. Yeah,
No.
I would be the same way. I thought he was from the 1500s too, or whatever. And then he goes on about how he was sure he's Italian. Picasso's got to be an Italian name. And
You
then
mean
somebody's like,
Pablo?
"You mean Pablo?" Yeah. Oh yeah, I guess he is Spanish. Um, that I could have written not everything, but a lot of stuff down. I didn't. I wrote that down, and then I liked when he was talking about. We never talk about that. We talk about the heights of adults, like he's 6'3" or he's 5'11". We never talk about the heights of kids, like, hey, this is my son, he's 2'6". Um, I liked that. I liked a lot of it. Um, he is funny, and I expected to like it, and I did. Um, I'll hold off with my grade until you tell me what you think.
There were parts where he told some jokes, and it was just whatever. They didn't, not everyone hit, and you could tell he got a little frustrated a couple times because the crowd
Yeah.
didn't hit all the time, and some of the ones the crowd didn't laugh at, I laughed at.
Okay.
But the some of them were too easy. But the C-section joke with the magic trick with all three of my kids were C-section, and that made me laugh so hard. And no joke, that anesthesiologist is right on top of you, like as you're down there talking to her. He's right there, and they're always guys. Every anesthesiologist I've ever met in my life is a male. Crazy,
That's funny.
crazy. So I did think no, but no, I laughed out loud quite a few times. I thought it was very good. I thought it was really good. I agree with him on some things too. I'm more like him. I'm not the opposite. Can't be the complete opposite. Doesn't make any sense. You're not doing the part that you need to have happen to you the most. Why do you want this one done to you? I don't understand it. Anyway, if you watch Joe List, you'll get it.
Okay. I'm trying to think of what that was. Now
Well,
I forgot.
if your girlfriend's going to do something, you don't want it done to this. You want it done to the other thing, not to that.
Oh, yes, 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 yes. I got it. I
I'm
got
totally with him on that. No, no thanks.
it.
Stay
Yeah.
away.
Yeah,
Good.
yeah,
Totally
yeah.
good. Very
100%. Yeah.
sensitive. Good, good, good. Actually, don't do. Oh, get a little jump. Nope. Actually, don't. We're good.
Yeah. Yeah.
I got a big kick out of that. That was good. And when he made the hand motion, and
Yeah.
I have heard of your testicles getting twisted, and that it's like
Have you?
really dangerous, like super dangerous.
Huh.
Uh,
I guess I
that's
never thought
all.
about
Yeah, it's all. No, it's really like if you got to go in and have like crazy surgery, and you can. It's bad, bad.
it. Oof.
Yeah.
He said
So
you could die from it, right? Was that a
yeah,
joke or we?
I don't know. He did the research. He said he did a lot of research for this podcast or for this comedy special. Um, no, I'm ready to give my score.
Okay.
All right. Do we do it at the same time, or do you just want me to say it?
I don't know if Zoom is gonna accept one of us might be like kind of
Oh,
muted if we do it at the same time.
so every time we're talking at the same time, is one of us getting muted? Probably.
I, I think so. At least some of the time.
Even in a one-on-one.
I think so because I when we couple times when you and I are start talking at the same time, like I can't hear you anymore just for that split second.
Okay.
So I'm not sure how it comes out afterward. But anyway, I mean we could write it down and like show it the camera at the same time if you want to.
I don't. I don't have a pen.
Oh yeah, okay, okay, yeah,
I
yeah,
don't
yeah.
have a
Okay.
pen. Oh no, but I still can. Hold on. I got a
You
lot
got a
of
chalkboard or something?
no, I have a lot of people that ran to first base, and there's at least one that was the right speed for this. Here it is.
Are you adjusting your score for a number you already have on a piece
No,
of
I
paper?
had it. I had this number in my head.
Okay. Oh, hold on. Let me All right. You're really gonna like mine because I go out two decimal places and you really don't like the point zeros.
You went two decimal places?
I did.
Well, if that's the case, then I'm going to leave this as is.
Okay. I think we
Oh,
can go out infinity decimal places.
oh, you're about to make things really crazy for us. All right.
If you give it a 3.7 repeating, I think that's legit.
Okay. Are you ready?
Yeah. All
Set,
right.
go. Oh, so close.
What do you got?
Four point
4.11?
4.11.
4.15. Nice.
Air
Right there.
five.
Absolutely.
Well done. Well done. It did feel that was good. Yeah, I feel like that's the perfect right in their score. It's definitely a four, definitely a deserves to be watched.
Yeah. Excellent.
Love it. Love it. Oh, so next week,
Yeah.
let's get ready for that. So next week, let's see here. Um I actually got this ready because it popped up after I got done watching Joe List, and I
Okay.
love this guy. Um most Mostly because he's a goofball. Uh we're gonna go Jim Norton. He's got a new special came out 3 weeks ago called Unconceivable.
Unconceivable. Yep. Jim Norton's good.
Good. What did I do
Unconceivable.
here?
Not inconceivable. Unconceivable, right?
Unconceivable.
Got it. All right. I'm excited for that. Oh, excuse me. That's on YouTube?
It is.
Okay. On YouTube. So then what can you find in your hotel room that we can talk about for the Mount Rushmore?
It's exactly what I'm doing right now.
I
Let's see
want to
here.
see. So your my picture is up on your screen right now. So I'm gonna try to replicate that on my side.
I
Oh,
love it.
never.
All right.
It's not a split screen anyway. It's whoever's talking.
Oh, is that how it does it?
I'll try to do it anyway. And then, oh God, the lighting's so much better in that picture than my lighting here.
Am I back?
You're back. You're sideways, but you're back.
Wait, hold on. Here we go.
There you go.
All right. Sorry.
Good.
So we are gonna go with the Mount Rushmore of bad things that have happened to you in a hotel.
Oh, okay. That's a good call. Bad hotel experiences.
Yes.
Now, I mean, I feel like you are going to have a million different places to go here
Big dog,
because
I got some good ones.
you've stayed at the haunted hotel that we had live on the pod here one
Yep.
time, right?
Yep.
The with the Victorian furniture and the
Uh-huh.
dolls or whatever, and
Yep.
like the scary rooms that all the doors are just open and they're dark in there when you walk down the hall. I mean, it's so frightening. So frightening. That video, when you took me on a tour of that place via Zoom, I mean, that's in my head.
Yeah.
I don't,
Freakiest place in the world.
that haunts my dreams, and I haven't actually been there.
Hotel Millersburg.
Oh boy, oh boy. Yeah, but you're on the road pretty much every week, so I'm sure you got a lot of stuff.
Oh yeah,
That's gonna
I've
be
got some
fun.
good ones. I got some good stories.
Okay. Yeah,
So there you go.
I gotta think about that. Okay, yeah.
You got at
Cool.
least one.
Yeah, I do have at least one recent one, so I'll probably have that one. Um, yeah, I think I can think of another one, which is crazy because I was probably like 8 years old.
Well, I can
Can't
think
believe
of
I
one
remember it.
from when you were probably like 18 or 19. That was an
All right.
embarrassing moment for you in a hotel.
Embar- Where did we go when I was 18 or 19? Okay.
Spring training.
Spring training, spring training, right. I yelled at you for being loud during the Xavier Ohio State basketball game, and that wasn't my place to do that. But
Uh, it was so funny though.
I'm a I'm
That
very
was
much a
embarrassing. That was embarrassing for you, not because of anything you did, but because of the people that were in the hotel room with you. Not people, person.
well, you and my dad, right? He
Yeah, but
was
your
he
dad
there?
was not nearly as loud as I was.
Oh no, no. Um,
I'm a lunatic.
look, it was Xavier basketball in the tournament. I get it.
Yep, that's how it
Um,
works.
okay, yeah, that's that's another that's another one. Um, okay, all right. I'll be able to come up with a Mount Rushmore then. You've helped
All
me.
right. All right, good, good. We'll make it work. We'll make it work. All right.
Right?
Well, we got Mount Rushmore of worst hotel room experiences,
Experiences. Yeah.
and we have Jim
Jim.
Norton,
Or-
unconceivable. Yes.
Right.
Until next time, don't forget to turn your headlights on.